Good afternoon, everybody. As you can see on the screen, my name is Mike Dowling. I'm actually one of the IOF Vice Presidents now, of course, but I'm also a member of Orienteering Australia Board. And in my home state of Tasmania, where I live, I have been involved in junior coaching for maybe 30 years. Hopefully you will be able to understand my accent as I speak too. So what is this scholarship program about? It is about giving young orienteers a chance to live and coach in Australia for up to 12 months. Normally, the person would live in the local orienteering community where the scholarship is undertaken. They are given $1,500 for a 6-month period in return for about 15 hours per week work. They have the chance to earn extra money by activities such as working in schools, where they get paid what is called the award rate in Australian law for community casual coaches. And just by way of comparison, $20 Australian is maybe about $15 US. They can of course train and compete and experience a great diversity of different terrains. They get free club membership, entry to both local and national events, and of course the chance to travel in Australia. So some history now. A gentleman in Canberra, or Australia Capital Territory, called it David Poland, wanted to try and have what is called sustainability of coaching for young people. There was a lack of volunteers to do this important youth development work. Canberra being the capital city of Australia, many of the people involved in coaching were working and very busy. So he came up with this idea of this volunteer or scholarship program. So then in 2013, a young man from Switzerland, Lucas Funk, became the first scholar in the ACT. And a gentleman called Ludwig Arlund from Sweden went to Queensland as well. The success of this year opened it up across the Australian states. So 9 quality applicants were chosen to take a place that year. So then in 2016, this process became streamlined with a website and a central place for applications. Now we have a situation where we have many applicants and more than can be accommodated by the clubs and the states in Australia. I might say too that because of this, it's good for Australian people because they can have a chance to choose a person that they really like. So how do you apply if you're interested to work in Australia in this program? So you can first apply through the website. You can see there. There is a frequently asked questions page. It is important for somebody to read this carefully. Then the applicants can send an email to the address and they have to provide lots of information. So a photo, a CV, your coaching experience, mapping experience, some referees, a letter outlining why you want a scholarship, how long you wish to have a stay for, and of course your personal details. Some of the activities and tasks that people do in this program is to coach individuals and groups, to organise events, do mapping if they have the skills, do sport development, teach children, adults to orienteer, work in what is called sporting schools. This is a special program run by Australian government where the schools are given money to conduct sport programs, and the schools decide which sport they would like to have, and then the sport is conducted in the school where a coach comes to the school and conducts the activity for the students. Because of the need to account, the applicant needs to keep a record of their activities, and at the end of the period they write a short report about what they have done and their experiences. This is an important slide because there have been some problems with some scholars about visas. And I base this on my personal experience in Tasmania. It's probably a good idea for a scholar to get what is called working holiday visa, especially if they are going to do or have the chance to work in schools. So a working holiday visa allows you to work in Australia up to 12 months, and it's for people between 18 and 31. So there are 39, or you can see the list there, of IOF members who Australia allows to come with this working holiday visa. The Australian immigration people sometimes consider the scholarship payment to actually be income. So that is why, from my perspective, I think if you come on a tourist visa, it can be a problem. And I know we had a boy work in Tasmania from Czech Republic. He had some trouble with immigration people over visas. But it is possible for citizens from other members to gain a visa for a scholarship, but it is more complex. It involves the club or the organisation going and doing lots of extra steps with immigration authorities to sponsor them individually to come to the country. Just as an example, in my state, Tasmania, we are hoping to get 2 young Russians to come for 6 months. So the state organisation is doing the paperwork to become their sponsor to come. What do you need when you come as a scholar? You need to have travel and medical insurance. Some countries have agreements with Australia about health and medical. Obviously, you need to be a good orienteer, but you do not have to be an elite. Because you are working with children, in Australia you need to have what is called the Working with Vulnerable People card. So this is a legal thing in Australia, and this can take up to 8 weeks to process. So the state or club who the person is allocated to will help them to get this card. Obviously, you need to have good English and communicate well, and you will learn to understand the Australian way of speaking when you're there. You do not need to have formal qualifications in coaching, but some experience is advised. When you arrive in Australia, you have to complete a short online coaching course, which takes about 3 to 4 hours to complete. Some capacity to make maps will help, but is not essential. It's good to have some ability in some of software to be able to make training activities and set activities. Like Brazil, Australia is a very big country. You need to have a driving licence because you will need to either purchase or borrow a car. And it's good to have a computer and mobile phone too, because big country, sparse population, particularly some of the bush terrains are a long way from cities and towns, so you need to have a capacity to contact people. I give you now my local perspective on this program as I live in Tasmania. For us, it has been a really great success. Our coaches we have had so far have been outstanding individuals. They have integrated very well into our local communities, and many have expressed a desire to return. In fact, we have Christoph Brunsch from Germany back in Tasmania now for the 2nd time. Also, we have greatly benefited from hosting coaches for the coaching and assistance they bring. We could not operate our sporting schools program in Tasmania without our overseas coaches. It helps expand the horizons of our young orienteers by giving them opportunity to be friends with orienteers from other countries. And I speak from personal experience there, who I have 2 daughters who were in Jobok team. They have met some wonderful people through this program, and they continue to be very, very good friends. Thank you.